guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. and I'm here today to bring you the review for One Piece episode 942. So the first half of the episode is the action-packed stuff, and it's really basically just the Straw Hat saying, screw the plan. Well, not screw the plan, but screw it for now. There's more important things involved, so they focus on rescuing Otoko and getting Yasu's body out of there. So we know Sanji and Zoro were just on it from the get-go, but it took a while for Nami, Usopp, Robin, and Frankie to also join, the action. And now, considering who they were fighting, and that's just, nobody's, what there was Kirishira, and he comes into it later, but for the majority, consider that they're fighting nobodies. The action was kind of good because when you just get the further members of a crew or the Marines or whatever faction they're fighting, it's just usually just them easily working their way through them in the typical straw hat fashion of whatever members fighting. With Usopp, with Frankie, you might throw in a strong right and then weapons left. You get what I'm kind of saying here, but within this episode. Maybe it's because it's the context that's around it. I enjoyed it a bit more. I especially enjoyed the Sanji stuff. When when you see the arm and Haki come on the leg, and he's like do 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 do. Loved it. I think I loved it even more so because I'm pretty sure. I'll have to go back and check the manga and the anime, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time we actually see it on him, because up until now it's been stated that he can use ornament, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time we actually see it. So that was good as well. And we also had Zoro, just chopping through the bullets, but we've seen him do that before. But like I said previously, that was good. I like the action within this episode. What I did find lazy though about the action in this episode is when we had that kind of spreadsheet bit, and it wasn't done with Zoro and Sanji, but we had Usopp, Nami, Robin, Frankie call the attacks, and it was like a cover page kind of thing. That I thought was lazy, and that's something that they should have just dived into a bit more. Just keep expanding the action a bit more, but they didn't. Um, Anything else I want to say about this half of the episode? No, that's pretty much it. So, oh no, so we had Kiyoshiro and Zoro clash swords. I'm not gonna call it a fight. I'm not gonna call it a fight, but we had them clash swords within this episode. Obviously, Kiyoshiro is defending Orochi, and we know via this episode that Zoro's pissed and he wants to kill Orochi for himself. So we see him actively trying to do that within this episode, despite the plan. We also had Sanji claim that he's going to kick down Kaido, but love it. So there was that, and one thing to note is that Kiyoshiro was able to seem to hold his own against Zoro when they clashed, and he was also able to easily deflect 720 pound cannon from Zoro. So these are both impressive, but they're not really Zoro's top feat. So it makes you wonder just how strong Kiyoshiro is. Another fight we get within this episode is X-Drake versus Sanji. Now Sanji's really just basically concentrating on protecting Otoko, and he's not really going. He's probably not going for that at all. He's not even using his germ suit, but it did make me question just how strong X-Drake is, because he is tanking some attacks from Sanji. So it did make me question that. That's everything about the first half. The second half is really all about that reveal. And now, if you're an anime only watcher and you manage to get to this episode without this reveal being spoiled, I applaud you. I applaud you so much. But obviously, we get the reveal that the person that Zoro was fighting earlier, I can't remember the name they used back then, is actually Killer. And now it is shocking to find out what they have done to Killer. We learned by a kid just a little bit about Killer's backstory, but it is shocking to find out that this was Killer the whole time. And now I mentioned it previously in my earlier reviews that I will talk about this when it comes up, because when you don't know that the guy that Zoro faced was Killer, the fight is impressive. But when you now look back on it and realize that it was Killer, I'm asking you, anime only watchers, does it kill your view of the fight? Because for me, it kind of does. Because Killer, just like Zoro, is a supernova. He's part of the worst generation. And I just had high hopes. I had high hopes. I personally believe that a fight between Zoro and Killer should have been more impressive, should have been more lit, should have been more epic than it was shown to us. So finding out that Killer was Killer, it kind of just diminished my viewpoint of him simply because he lost so easily. And now you could argue that both of them weren't going full out. We know that Killer is under the influence of the smile of devil fruit, so we can say he's not in his best mindset and probably wasn't fighting to his full potential. We know Zoro wasn't fighting to his full potential as well because he was distracted by what he actually came there to do. He was also tagged by the bridge protector, the weapon protector, so there's that as well. But at the end of the day, I don't know, but I'm leaning more on the side of being disappointed by Killer just based on that fight alone because I feel like it should have been better. But that's everything I got to say about this episode. It does end off with Luffy seemingly mad at the news of Killer and wanting to continue the same matches. So that's probably what we'll be doing next week. I will give this chapter a 3-star rating. I didn't feel like the pacing was slow like I usually do with the anime, so I'll just give it average rating. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please go to my YouTube channel. Most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.